unfortunately, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So he's surrounded by transvestites and the rest of them. And he's kind of like, wow. So there's just a lot of fun moments all through it. And Lois at the Daily Planet, meanwhile, knows something's not right with him and begins trying to track down his background against all the urgings of Jim Olsen to say, don't do it, leave him the fuck alone. And starts digging his past. It goes to his high school, records. You seriously, you hacked into Clark Kent's high school records, and talks to his high school teacher who gives him the background information on it.
There's also, you forgot to mention the worldview. That's a big, well, you can, you really.
Yes, the worldview of Superman. The world isn't sure what to do with this guy. He can fly anywhere he wants, do anything he wants, and a lot of the government leaders are worried about what this guy should ever do if he returns against somebody. And sure enough, there's a country, a very small island nation that has a tsunami hit. It's run by a really tyrannical guy. And he flies in to help, and the guy's basically taking the position of, look, these are rebels, these are bad guys, I don't care if they are dying, better they should die than I have to shoot them, it will waste bullets. And Superman tries to intervene anyway, and he starts delivering to him arms he's cut off to the people he's trying to say, saying, you keep doing this, I'll keep bringing in arms. Real simple. More limbs after that. And he has to decide, what can I do about this? And that decision will have massive ramifications for the third book down the road. Even in the US, the question becomes, we need to find a way to kill this guy if there's a need to do so. And we need to find an expert who might know how to kill this guy. And that brings in another character who we'll see toward the end of the book.
But the cover that you saw before is actually a reflection of the worldview. And you won't get it until you read it, but it's actually a panel from the book, and that it is a reflection on how the world does see Superman, not just Shane Davis wanting to draw burning people as Superman's feet. There's a reason for that.
They made a request earlier, I want to see burning people.
I wanted burning people. It's like all my favorite people are at the bottom of the thing there, and you think I'm joking, but...
I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because I thought that was one of the more intriguing aspects to the book this time around is that consequence. And it's funny, when Volume 1 came out, I think everybody felt that the book is terrific, but that cover illustration really drove very quickly what the message was. And so when we were first shown this, it's so drastically different. And then to find out that it wasn't actually designed and drawn as a cover, that it was a panel, I think just is a testament to the kind of
what also happens in the book that Joe forgot to mention is it does also Parasite flows into that because he does take Superman's power. So it's like power in whose hands, I think. So there's a lot of that. They do all tie together. It's not like Parasite doesn't, even though he's not as it's a lot of fighting with Parasite. He actually supports, I think, a lot of Joe's theme of like responsibility and power, maybe.
And you mentioned the first cover, the first issue, first book. And the reason for keeping him, starting him off at least as a younger character. I used to shoot a show in Vancouver for a couple of years. And while I was there, I used to go to Granville near Robson, which is a little street where my comic book store was to get my weekly fix. And Granville, if you've ever been up to Vancouver, is all young kids. The runaways and throwaways, street kids, hanging out, buddies, just, And my favorite kid was a guy holding a sign saying, need money for grass, which I thought was just terrific. He was honest about it. And I would go in to get my comics, and every so often I would see some of these kids wander in, look down the racks of comics, and then walk out empty-handed. Like there wasn't something that they could relate to, that they could understand, that spoke to them. But Superman is too important a character not to start getting his hooks into the kids at that age. Let's young him down a bit, make him more violent, make him a 20-year-old plus trying to make his way in the world and bring in that audience and bring in that person who wants to find a place in life and feel empowered.
There's so many fans I've met at conventions over the last year that come up and they tell me thank you for turning me on to Superman. I never read Superman. I never liked Superman before, and they don't even know who I am. And I mean, from my other work. I mean, and I think that's the true success of Superman Earth One is like they won't read my other comics maybe, but this comic did apply to I like Superman and I can relate to Superman. I think like sometimes like especially drawing Clark as a younger Clark and everything, I had to break a lot of visual stereotypes, and I'm not sure if some of those visual stereotypes didn't distance certain readers